Can't believe I'm about to say this, but this one Iron Man figure is $500 on his own.
Get him up, let him get up, let him get up, let him get up.
And despite that price tag, I really think I'm about to sit here and tell you guys it's worth it. I know I'm brainwashed as hell, but this figure is in a league of its own, Hot Toys. So let's just get right into the review.
I'm the best.
Alright guys, it's Mark 42 time. I gotta say, I got mine from Pop Collectibles. Huge thank you to them, and be sure to use my code Cosmo whenever you're shopping on their site for a little discount. But as for the Mark 42, it is the deluxe edition, and let's just get this guy out because I am excited. I'm also a bit nervous for a few reasons. The main reason being, I don't know how I'm gonna display this guy. There's so many ways to display him, and I can only choose one because, again, he's $500 and getting him out. Man, I love how this gold is hitting the camera. I did already take this out, so I did accidentally leave some of the battle damage parts on, but for the most part, you get the idea. This is what the clean look is supposed to look like, and I love the Mark 42, guys. I don't understand why I get so much hate. I figured I'd give you guys a quick look of what it looks like with the lights turned on, fully powered by USB-C. That's right, no more dumb batteries. It's all wired, which I'm so happy to see. I won't lie, even though this is the clean look, he still does have quite a bit of battle damage, so it's definitely not a pristine version of Mark 42. Of course, we've got to talk about the Tony Stark head sculpt, and I honestly think this is amazing. I do think the eyeballs are a bit too big, but other than that, I have literally no complaints. I think the hair texture is amazing. I think they did a really good job at hiding the rolling eyeball system. Sometimes it's a really ugly scene, but I would say you can't really see it on the back of his head. And then for the last swap out head, you do get this Iron Man empty helmet to put on the suit to make it look like it's in autonomous mode, which is sick. You can even open it up to be a little bit wider, so I'm really glad we got this as well. And then lastly, you get your standard Iron Man hands. I just wanted to show these, and they're nothing new. You get the repulsor blasting ones and then the articulated finger ones. Now it's time to get on to the second tray of accessories, and we're just going to start talking about the battle damage parts. I will showcase these later on the figure, but I just want to go over them. My favorite one being a completely swap out arm. Second I saw Hot Toys announce this, it made me so excited because this is just going to add so much visual interest to the figure to have it like half Iron Man, half human arm. I did try to take the metal part off the arm, and I think you can, but because there are wires, you would have to cut them, which I'm not willing to do. So as for other accessories outside of armor plates, you do get the car battery that you can have him holding and insert these wires into the suit. I'll show you guys that later this video, but really glad they included this. They actually did include this with the 1/4 scale version, so we finally have it in 1/6. And of course, you do get the display base, and this thing does light up, which I will show you guys later, but I'm not gonna lie, the light up effect is pretty lackluster. But I do like the design of the display base. Hot Toys have been giving us these. They're super tall. I know most people don't like them because they can't fit them in the display, but if you can, I do think these look actually pretty good. Now guys, it's time to lay out all of this guy's accessories and talk about, is he worth $500? And I know that is a steep price tag, and that's not even covering shipping or taxes or aftermarket. And oh man, I know you guys are about to hate me, but I can unequivocally say yes, this guy is worth it. I just think the value for what you're getting here is genuinely insane. You're getting an amazing Tony Stark head sculpt with rolling eyeballs with some of the best skin paint texture I've ever seen from Hot Toys. Are getting a pretty nice display base. At least they didn't cop out and go with like a cheaper style one. It is a nice one. Of course, you're getting the beautiful Mark 42 itself with the brand new USB-C power technology. As you know, these were battery operated before, which means you couldn't leave them on, whereas this guy can always have his lights on, which is huge. You get the car battery, you get all of the armor plates to change this guy into like 3 different looks if you want. And again, this is a die-cast release, which means he's made out of real metal. He's super heavy and he feels premium, so in my opinion, yes, he's worth the money. But don't just take my words at face value. Let me prove to you how worth it this guy really is. As you can see, we have him wired up to my phone, so the lights are on, powered by wires, which is so nice. And if you ever wanted to have your Iron Man fully powered on in the past, you would have to go and invest in a custom fusion reactors lighting kit, which is actually what I did for a while, but now you can just have him powered on out the box. And yes, somehow they were able to transfer the power all the way to the arms, even though the arms are detachable. I don't know how they were able to pull that off, but it is really nice to see. So everything does light up. Again, visually they killed it. I love the gold accents. Again, it is pretty hard for my iPhone camera to focus on it because of the shine, so just bear with me as I try to get this to focus. I think these are some of the most realistic proportions we've gotten on an Iron Man suit. They've done an amazing job at hiding most of the mechanical joints and seams. Figured I'd show you guys what he looks like with the open helmet, the autonomous helmet, if you just want to make it look like the Mark 42 is just walking on his own. I think this looks sick. Definitely not what I'm going to be doing, but I still think it's an awesome option for photography, or if you have like a Tony Stark figure you want to use. And again, the Mark 42 was sort of its own character in the movie. It had multiple scenes where it was moving without Tony, doing things without Tony, which, you know, I think you can definitely represent that with this look. But now it's time to show off that $500 price tag with the battle damage look. This is genuinely next level for Hot Toys. There is no two ways about it. Most of the time, Hot Toys doesn't fully commit to the battle damage look, but they absolutely have here. These swap out armor plates genuinely turn this into a different figure. When I say a different figure, I truly mean that. Hot Toys could have easily made this its own release, like a battle damage Mark 42, but no, you get all of it in the same package, which is amazing. I mean, come on, bro. You can literally see the human arm inside the suit. This is genuinely something we've never seen from Hot Toys on this level. Most of their battle damage parts in the past were sort of half-assed, but this one went all in, and I am so here for it. And don't even get me started. When you get that human arm put on it, it is so visually interesting to just see the human side of Iron Man poking out of the suit. And as you can see, I do have the car battery with the wires directly interconnected with the suit, which just adds so much storytelling in my opinion. Here it is, the completed battle damage look for Tony with the suit. I think this is how I'm gonna display him. I might have to pick up a second Mark 42, I'm not gonna lie. I just think this is the most visually distinct and interesting look for Iron Man we've ever gotten in 1/6 scale because of all of the battle damage, the human arm, the Tony Stark head sculpt. And I did decide to leave the lights off on the arc reactor just to make it look like the car battery is genuinely charging up the suit, but I'll show you what he looks like with the lights on and the head sculpt later. And like I said, for the display base with the lights turned on, it's pretty lackluster. I don't know why Hot Toys keeps insisting on adding lights if they're not going to make them bright enough to notice. In person, you really cannot notice it. You can see none of the light is even hitting the suit, which I feel like defeats the purpose of there being a light up display base. But now I figured I'd try to recreate that one pose from the movie that this entire look is based on, and safe to say, your boy failed. I failed miserably. I'm sure you can hit it. I am just not good at posing. As you can see, I was not able to get his left arm to touch the ground, but despite how bad this looks, I still like it a lot. Something about this figure is genuinely mesmerizing. And I know you're probably thinking, when is this guy going to talk about flaws for the figure? And it's hard to really find any. But if I absolutely had to find some flaws, I would say the eyes are a bit too big. They do give off like bug eyes at some angles. And the new power system with the wires is a bit finicky. In some poses, the power doesn't reach the helmet or it doesn't reach the arm, and you kind of got to reposition or tap the figure. But other than that, I have no complaints genuinely. Here's what it looks like alongside all of my other marks right now. Besides the Mark 85, we've got the Mark 6, 7, 42, Mark 3, and Mark 2. Now it's time for the rating, guys, and I know you're thinking I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I'm not. I'm going to rate this guy a strong 9.6 out of 10. I believe that is the highest rating I've ever given, and if it wasn't for the bug eyes and sort of the power issues when you're posing it, I would probably give it a 10, genuinely. Yeah, if you're on the fence about this guy and you've got the cash, just buy it. It is easily the best Iron Man Hot Toys have ever made to date. As always, everybody, praise God and stay blessed.